Welcome to another episode of your Good Bro podcast. This episode's all about fitness culture, body image, and mental health. And we're joined by Frank from Frank's Boxing, Fitness and Wellness. Also, as well, he's a facilitator at Man and Meetup. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This was actually a topic that you suggested, with your background as well, which we do appreciate. So, as we always do on You Good Bro, how you been?
Very well, bro. Thank you. Yeah. How have you been?
I've been good. It's been a few weeks since I did that hike, though.
Yeah. How are you feeling? It's light work for you, though, from what I've gathered.
Well, I'm trying. As the listeners already know, I'm training for the 3 peaks at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out Men Outdoors for the shout. That'll be in June, so it's coming around quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the weather, to be honest. Really enjoying the weather. Like, I think it's just nice. I think UK is like a whole different culture. When the weather comes out, everyone goes to bear gardens. Everyone just, enjoys life.
100%. There can be 12 degrees in Manchester. There's people with shirts off, like everything.
Yeah. How about yourself? How you been?
Yeah, been very well, man. Been busy. Been busy focusing on what I've been doing with the boxing classes and obviously planning out things with hikes and events and just trying to get things moving. So lots on the table at the moment, but much like yourself as well, like balancing a full-time job with my sort of other thing that I'm doing is it's a lot, man.
Yeah. Well, tell the audience a bit about what you do before we crack on.
Yeah, sure. So what I do is I have started my own company, which is called Frank's or Frank's Flow. And it started with me and a few friends, basically I'll shout out Mandem as well, through Mandem Meetup. I basically saw like a little gap in the market, or basically the selling point is I combine fitness and wellness classes. So it could be a boxing class, could be a fitness class, and then combine it with, at the end of every session, is breath work. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that it combines like the fitness side of things with like the mental health and the physical health. So it's tying these things in together. And it's building communities well wider than just fitness as well. For
sure. And I think that's really important because it all intertwines, we both know Flowers. We've had Flowers on.
Yeah, of course.
He's at our live show, shout out Flowers. He just shows and he taught us the importance of breath work and how it ties in, because especially as well with boxing, a big part of boxing is the breathing, also the movement, and it all ties in because it's all through the stamina as well, and it's also like the focus as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
How long have you been boxing for?
Boxing is something that I've been doing for years and years and years, like all through my younger life. But it was always more of a leisure activity for me. It's always like a bit of fun. I was more into like rugby and football when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And then since I've sort of been doing the classes and sort of building that in the last sort of I've been doing it like for the last 5-ish years. I've been boxing a bit more like intently. Mm-hmm. Had my first fight very recently, but just building up my skills as well and working on it. So
they do say like boxing is sweet science, but it's also the most well-rounded sort of exercise you can do. You can do the running, you got skipping, and it's also strength work.
100%, yeah.
What would you say before we kick on with this topic? What would you say like the main benefit for someone who's wanting to start boxing? What would you say
I could talk about that for hours.
Okay.
I've got a lot to say. It's been amazing for me. Just like the mental side of it, the discipline side of it, the challenge of it. And I think also just like in today's day, in general, like we need to be able to defend ourselves. I feel like we can defend ourselves. Like everyone needs that sort of confidence in our own body. Mm-hmm. So it's all those kinds of things intertwined. Mm-hmm. I think it builds confidence because people often walk around and they feel like a level of anxiety. And I think actually being able to defend yourself to a degree is really helpful for like your confidence for most people. I think it's super fun to do with people. I think it's very cathartic as well. Like I used to love going to a club in Manchester, and then late on in the evening I'd go at like 7 p.m. And I just love like having a busy day, and at the very end of my day, just whacking pads.
Yeah, because you
I'd
get
like,
it's that stress reliever, isn't it?
Oh, massive,
so it's like you can. It's like those escape rooms. You see those escape rooms? It's just like that.
It's a weird segue.
Well, there's pads in it. You're hitting stuff.
Is that what you're doing? Oh, what, you're smashing stuff up?
Yeah. It's like boxing.
I forget like there's escape rooms where you've got to like work out the clues to get out of the room and stuff like that. It's like that's a weird segue.
But that's escape. That adds more stress. But
have you boxed before? Have you tried it before?
Oh, do you know what? I think we spoke about this on the hike a few weeks ago, right? So both my uncles, Uncle Solomon and Uncle Joby boxed. I think Uncle Joby boxed till, I think he was boxed till Commonwealth level, but I think he got a bad injury. So like, one growing up, it's like Once I saw my uncle, and he was like, you know what? Don't try that.
Oh, yeah. You said that.
He was saying that on the hike, but I'd love to give it a go. I think, that's one of the aims we were talking about off mic is, now that I've been on the hike with you guys, I'm definitely going to get down to one of your classes for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Nice.
But coming on to today's topic, with fitness culture, body image, and also health, mental health, it's so important. And I think like with what you do, it ties into every element of that, because they all intertwine. Some people use fitness almost as a mask to cover what they're really going through. So I think what I'd say first, and this is like me doing my research, is there's been a rise of like the ideal body for men, whether that's six packs, whether that's, particular physiques, whether that's just even like running physiques and stuff like that. What is the ideal body? Because there is that sort of bigorexia that a lot of people face. What would you say, like, what have you noticed in terms of like the rise of the ideal body, whether you noticed anything in particular?
Yeah, body culture is very interesting. I think there's a stereotypical ideal body. Obviously, it's going down the more strength route for like men and women, which is a cool thing. Yeah. In general, it's cool seeing people, doing CrossFit and these sort of things, and like even running as well. Like seeing people do things that are very much like pushing their body to like be stronger and fitter rather than aesthetics so much. Yeah. And the aesthetics follows along afterwards. I think my line of inquiry, like obviously I've been doing gym and all the rest of it for like years and years and years. Like, like 16 years old. For sure. So like after a while, you're doing the same old, gets really boring. So I like sports that one, challenge your mind, give you space to kind of like do the self-development in yourself, where it's like seeing what you're capable of. Yeah. And I like things that are, a little bit different, like more to it than just kind of the aesthetics.
Yeah, for sure, because...
But it's a massive thing in today's aesthetics. Like, I'm lying if I think that it's not a thing anymore. It's huge. Yeah.
Because it's just crazy. There's so much culture around your body, and so much, it's not about your mind anymore. Yeah. It's all about your body. It's all about, all right, I need the six pack, or all right, I need to do this challenge, or, like I was seeing it over a few weeks ago with the London Marathon and the Manchester Marathon a few weeks ago. These people doing crazy challenges. That's not normal. It's not normal. And I feel like putting your body through certain things, exercise should be for your mental just as it is for physical. So when people take that away and people go, all right, it's all about aesthetics, that can't be healthy, can it? Have you ever experienced stuff like that in any sort of gym environments or boxing environments that you've been in?
Yeah, they can be very toxic environments. And I'm always trying to focus on the elements of like fitness, because like you might, in some people might look at me as a personal trainer. I do like other things as well, and it's like they might see that as like a stereotypical. Actually, that I'm kind of buying into that concept because I encourage people to just focus on their bodies so much. Maybe I think a lot about my aesthetics and that sort of stuff, and I get that. I think with my sort of idea on fitness and wellness is how can we put the focus on other areas that are more interesting? It's like a person's not just their body; they're obviously much more than just how they physically present. And it's like that's such a boring line of inquiry, I think.
Yeah, because I just think, like you were saying about people just look at things the wrong way and they just think, oh yeah, it's about this, it's about that. No, it's about the whole package. It's about the whole package, and having that unhealthy environment doesn't help anyone. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And there's like a few examples I've got down here, which is like obsessive gym cultures. People having crazy gym sessions. Have you seen Diamond Gym?
No, tell me.
Diamond Gym. So Diamond Gym, it's only in America, and it's like they push people to the limit. Like it's going viral. Like they're not allowed water. They're not allowed water. I'll show you after this.
Not allowed water.
Not allowed water. I'm
not going to that gym.
They push themselves to the limit. They've had people such as like celebrities and stuff, and they're passing out and stuff like that because the culture is to the max. Yeah. That can't be healthy. That really can't be healthy. Like obsessive gym routines, it's like there comes a limit where it's like you can only put your body through so much stress. Yeah, well, here, listen to this. So I actually the reason why I'm that way inclined as well is because I actually went through, I had something called rhabdomyolysis. Okay. Which is like it's a really dangerous like muscle condition. And I got it from overtraining. So I was doing too much CrossFit, did the 3-peak challenge, and then very soon afterwards, I had this condition. Yeah. And it can be like really dangerous. Luckily I was fine, but it took a long time to recover. Yeah. So I was out of the exercise game for doing anything as a personal trainer for like a year, on and off, a year and a half.
So like, I'm now like,
you've now like learned from that experience, which is kind of like why you have this sort of for mental health focus. I think that's really important. Another one that's a big one is constant comparison. Have you ever had that where like, either you're training someone in a gym or someone's doing like boxing or something like that, and it's like, I'm not where I need to be, I feel less than, and it does affect your self-esteem, it really does. Like, when you went through what you went through, did you feel that anyway? Did you ever look at someone and go, I need to get there and I need to overtrain to get there or something like that?
100%. I think like the comparison culture, like we could go down that phrase as well. Like, the comparison culture, like, in terms of like aesthetics as well, is like, there's also, I was going to say, there's like gym maxing.
Gym maxing looks like
that'd be quite funny to talk about as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of performance, I think when things were paused for me, like I got a lot of my kind of like sense of self from exercise, and also from how I looked, because like going back historically, like over time, that's been something that's like deeply entrenched, and so I've had to coach my way out of that kind of cycle over like loads of therapy and like all kinds of stuff. So like there's that, but then that being on hold for a period, like, it made me have to look at things a bit differently, of course, because what am I? See, I've had to be like, well, what am I if I'm not doing the exercise?
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, because then we had an episode just last week about reset, and it's like resetting your mind because we are in spring and there is that spring equinox and just spring clean, but we talk about the mind.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will ask you is like, how did you manage to decenter? Because you still do PT and you still do boxing.
Yeah.
But how did you manage to decenter the external validation of how you look from still being in that world, because it is your day job, it is your career. How did you manage that?
It's a great question. I think going down the route of, there's a few things that got me down that route. I think like I had to literally work out like what I was externally from that specific thing. And I think that pause of not being able to exercise definitely helped me with that, because I was like, well, we've got to,
what can you do? Yeah.
And then I went down all these routes of like, just like doing other things. Like obviously I work with Manda Meetup, which is a men's mental health charity. Doing other little side ventures and things that I work on. Like I did a degree for 2 years, for example. So like I was focusing on that and putting more emphasis on things like that, and like, and just opening up and being more vulnerable with like the men's mental health space as well really helped me to like open out some of the demons and be like, I'm more than just the things I think I am,
Yeah, because you're saying like you've spent a lot of time in your gym for a long time, over almost like 12, 13 years, and that was probably entrenched from a young age to be like, this is my identity. And then when when you get the illness that you got through training, and it's taken away, you just like it's like we're saying, like, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are at a certain point.
Yeah. But can I ask what your relationship is with like training and exercise and body image? You got anyone going into that, or is that?
Yeah, like so. The listeners know. I had a situation last year where I wasn't in the best state. I passed out running a half marathon. So I use this, and we said this in a previous episode. I use like running as an escape mechanism. I use running as a way to help my mental health, which it was. Yeah. But then I realized when that was taken away, I realized the effects of like, I was just using it to cope as a mask. So again, that's why, similar to yourself, you go to the Man Them events that they have. Also, to utilize other ways to sort of manage yourself, basically, like, because when like, we've been talking a bit about decentering. A lot of people just use things as a cape or something to mask or to cover up how they're feeling. Yeah. Whether that's drinking, whether that's, going hard in the gym, whether that's, getting into relationships you're not ready for, and all this stuff. Yeah. And what I realized is like, it's all about balance. Yeah. Like I have many hats, creative hat, still goes to just, my main thing at the moment is hiking. Yeah. That's the main thing, as you might have seen the week. But so my relationship's always been that, and as well, like I played football to a fairly decent level as a kid, and it almost made me I always still play football, but it's like bringing back the joy realizing like, you know, when you get to a certain age, I'm not gonna be professional. I'm not gonna.
Never too late.
It's bringing back the joy into exercise instead of making it a competition, which is coming on to our next section, which is like social media and like comparison culture. Like talking about that, like, you know, with you being social media facing, what experiences have you had with that personally?
I think from my perspective, it's something which I've had to battle with myself, because like letting go of the need to compare to people is a massive one. And to do that, you got to know that you got other things to bring to the table, that you're yourself and you haven't got to compare to other people. You know, when you feel like low self-esteem, ultimately, which I can say about myself, that there's times in my life where I've felt low self-esteem. I haven't felt like I've got things to bring to the table. I think building those other elements of yourself that are not just focused around, you know, certain shallow things is like because really important.
When you realise there's lighting, people going to shoots dehydrated.
That's crazy.
People, to give you an example, right? You see like people get called out on like Photoshop, like why is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people are going to the gym and trying to build themselves to that standard when they don't know that that person doesn't even look like that because they've been Photoshopped for hours, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think that, you know, you're comparing yourself as well. Say, for example, we're in the fitness space. All your algorithm is the fitness space.
Absolutely.
So if you're a runner, you're seeing people doing ultra marathons, you're seeing people doing marathons in sub-3. And it just makes your brain think it's normal. If you're into personal training, you're seeing people who are bodybuilders doing, you know, all the Mr. Olympia and all that stuff. And you just think, why can't I get there? So I think it's as much as part of the algorithm as it is about social media, because it's like, if you only see certain things and you're in the fitness space and it's hard to kind of go on there and go, oh, you could be look really great, whether you're male, female, anything else. Like you could look really great, but you're always seeing something which, you know, might not be achievable for you. And it's like there's body composition as well. Like
100% is very toxic, a very toxic culture. And I always think that about people who like do like loads of training and, you know, like make it their whole kind of like personality. I think like that you've got to find balance. And I think also what you're saying a little bit about kind of like trying to escape kind of like something, I always feel that as well. Like I think that the more we can find spaces where we can be a bit more vulnerable. I know it sounds like crazy for some people and a bit far out, but I do think like that escaping of stuff, like it'd be really great if we can find more spaces that feel a little bit more like a safe space, people just to do their thing. And like, you haven't got to be a pro athlete. Like, like exercise for everybody. You haven't got to be a pro athlete. No one's got to like be a professional footballer. Everybody. Like,
just
there's got to be a middle ground with it, you know?
Yeah, just play with your boys. Go to the gym in a reasonable way where it's not like the be all and end all and stuff like that.
100%.
You know?
100%.
And that's the crazy thing. It's like you know, there comes a point where there needs to be more day-to-day influencers who are like, you know, who have a regular job, because another thing as well, when it comes to fitness, these people probably get paid by companies to stay in the gym.
Yeah. And they're using all kinds of things to make themselves look that way.
Yeah, you're comparing. When there's people say, for example, might go to your gym or other gyms, they might have a 9 to 5. They might have kids. They might have, you know, different circumstances.
Yeah.
Compared to someone on social media who's paid hundreds of thousands of pounds just to say, go in the gym, get supplements for free. And you're comparing yourself to all of that and you're like, why can't I do it? It's like, it's not feasible. It's not. And it's like realizing having self-esteem.
Yeah.
It's kind of going, I'm good where I'm at.
100%. Exactly.
I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
And, for sure.
And leaning into how, like, the thing that I always fall back to with this stuff is like, how does it make you feel? Training for feeling, not about how it is for other people. And we all fall into that trap. But the more we feel like a sense of like autonomy in our lives, in the sense that we can do things, I think we can build that feeling in ourselves. Like, do it for me, not for other people. And like, that's something that we need to work on, I think.
For sure. Now going to like the mental health cost, you know, I've seen things where people feel guilty for missing workauts. You know, like say for example, I won't name names. But
Are they in this room?
I won't name. Nah, I'm not in this room. I got a good friend of mine. I got a good friend of mine, right? And Basically,
Is it you?
No, it's not me. It's not me. Basically, she has a nutritionist.
Yeah.
And anytime she doesn't meet her macros or doesn't, it's like, oh my God. And it's like, that can't be healthy. You know, there's cheat days for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right to have a healthy diet, but everything comes in balance, in moderation.
What's your cheat day?
What's my cheat day?
Yeah.
Well,
talk me through it.
Talk me through your cheat day. Probably got like I don't know.
Every day, once a week. What's your standard?
You threw me off there now. I don't know. Like, I think it depends. I think just like get like a decent breakfast, wholesome breakfast, something like that. I don't know. Like, you know, I have like a balanced diet. Like some days, you know, if I'm working long hours, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll get something just last minute, like a pizza or something like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm like fully meal prepped or stuff like that, it won't be that often. But yeah. But what's your cheat day?
My cheat day. Oh, I like there's a place called Soul and Surf. Shout out in
Manchester,
in Northern Quarter. They do like African foods, like spicy turkey, stuff like that, and like Jordan fries and stuff, and it's so good.
Okay.
So, like, that's my takeaway if I'm going there, and then like cookies and this and that. But it's a rarity to go that far. But
so obviously, tell me if you don't want to go into it.
Yeah, go for it. But like, anything.
When you went through what you went through with your illness, what was the mental health cost on you?
Mental health. I had to like stop and reevaluate, because up until that point, like, if I'm being honest, like when I started doing personal training and the rest of it, I think the real like incentive for me was I love helping people and I love like taking that role, working with people. But it's also, it kind of filled a void to me of like me being the kind of expert in that, because I had a poor idea of my own body image. So I had to go through a whole process of like learning that and understanding it. But it's funny, that's the starting position that I came from, was like poor body image. I'm helping people then to find it in themselves.
Yeah.
But then at that point, it kind of, to a degree, then I had to stop and be like, just reevaluate, like, you know, what am I if I haven't got this kind of tool that gives me a sense of validation or the rest of it. So it was actually very tough. Yeah, I had to like definitely reevaluate it. I had quite an unhealthy, I was doing like loads of exercise, doing CrossFit, the 3-peak challenge. I wasn't like feeding myself enough as well. And
it's like were you in like calorie deficit?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was doing loads of, because CrossFit's just like crazy.
Yeah, CrossFit. I think High Rocks has taken over now.
I did a High Rocks this year. I'm feeding the stereotype right now. It's not going well.
I think I've seen it before, like the mental health cost of having, you know, poor self-image. Let's not just call it let's just call it around gym culture, just poor self-image in general.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great at all. It's like you have to have a self-worth.
Yeah.
Even no matter how you look, you have to have a self-worth to get to where you need to be anyway.
Yeah.
The physical cost of something is you feel good more than you look good. Because a lot of the time, like you said, you're in the boxing world, cutting is not healthy in boxing. When you have to cut weight. We've seen a few weeks ago, I think it was a UFC fighter collapsed on stage after cutting weight. I can't remember.
Oh, what's that? Yeah.
And it's like, that can't be healthy. And it's like, that's the pressure you put through your body. And it's like, you see in recent weeks, like, some people training to do marathons, and have they done enough training, and they're passing out. It happened to me even. Like, I was questioning, like, when in my second half marathon, I was questioning, like, am I just doing too much here? You know, am I doing too much here? Because we're in a hot climate. But it's listening to your body, I'd say. Listening to your body and going, okay, is this right for me? Do I feel I need to go to the gym today? No. Let's go rest day. Let's go Soul and Surf. Get some free. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
100%.
Because there's a lot of factors which come into effect, which if you feel that the gym is the be all and end all, it'll just make things worse. Make things worse. Totally.
It took me to have to kind of like essentially break my body, because the way it is your muscle fibers breaking and cells in your body breaking, and having to repair my body again over a year. Like, it took me to do that, to have to stop, like physically had to stop and review it and be like, I'm actually pushing too hard here.
Yeah.
I'm going too quick. I'm not recovering enough, and all that sort of stuff. And that's why I base my business, what I'm doing now, around other things, community, around self-development, showing up authentically and just rocking up. You haven't got to be a boxing expert, whatever you are, just doing it to your level and doing it because it feels good, not because you have to be the best so people can see you being the best.
For sure.
So that's the root of it.
Yeah. And like that's like the final bit we want to cover is like, you know, we've talked about the unhealthy aspects of fitness culture. You know, you've been through things yourself as well.
Yeah.
And you've also seen the effects it's had on other people. Now, how can we redefine fitness and self-worth? Like, how can we redefine it so we're not just talking for us and for what you do, we're talking for the next generation, so they're not having to resort to drugs or resort to taking certain things to make themselves look better, to make themselves feel better. It's like, it should be make yourself feel better first, and then those things will come after.
Yeah, 100%. I think one thing that in general that I think is social media is so damaging, and Ali mentioned it before, but for the younger generation, I can only imagine if you're fed an algorithm that just keeps filling you the idea of the ideal body type, and you keep running with that forever, like it's just going to put that idea in your head that you're not good enough as you are. It's going to do more and more and more.
Yeah.
So like changing that up, like letting go of social media a little bit and putting more effort into like doing things that make you feel good. I'd always go back to that, I think.
Yeah.
You know? Moderation, enjoying your pizza or so and so every now and again, and like finding a bit of a balance, you know?
Yeah. So when you posed the question, when you gave a topic suggestion to us, I've never actually sat down and felt like, what is a healthy fitness routine? Because, you know, there is people trained to do fitness, like there's an athlete, whether you're a boxer, whether you're, you know, and they are dedicated to the gym because that's their job.
Yeah.
But for the regular day-to-day person, what does like a healthy fitness routine look like to the point that they don't want to, you know, it doesn't affect their mental health?
Okay, I want to mention the first thing. One thing that always sticks in my mind that I share with people all the time is that you lose 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every single year past 30. So how old are you?
I'm mid-30s.
So say we're 5 years in, you know. Yeah. So I'm very big on training, like building muscle mass to a degree when you're young, because just for that reason, longevity. And I'm also I'm a little bit against kind of pushing too hard, and the ultra marathon culture I think is a little bit unhealthy as well at the moment. I put a lot of emphasis on like biomechanics and doing things that make you move well, recovering enough, all the eating enough, like all of these factors that make up a more balanced, routine. Really important. So everything in moderation. And yeah, longevity, I think. Like we should all be training to be able to lift up our kids if we have kids, or move well, because there's a huge difference between someone who's like 80, 90 years old, who's can't get off the sofa, is stuck in bed, and one who's moving well, you know, is a huge difference.
There's that people say like core strength is important, would you say?
Massively important. Yeah, it all starts with the core. That's like the root of everything. Yeah,
that's good. So I got another question for you. What would you say, for example, 3 things that people need to do to improve their self-worth and also their self-image around fitness?
Around fitness. I would say the first thing, very simple, like focus on things that make you feel good. I know I've said it a few times, but lock into things that you enjoy around people that also enjoy the same sort of things, where you can get better. Don't focus on perfection, focus on the middle ground, where it's just, I'm not doing this to become the next Mike Tyson, I'm not doing this to become the next Mo Farah. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it and because it's good for my body. And that's a great place to start, because if you're training to make your body strong and fit body, strong mind, I'm a firm believer of that. So just that essentially. And then the rest of it can come from that. You build a sense of like strength and security just from looking after your body. And the mind can kind of follow from that, I think.
Okay, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Well, you know what? That's been a really good episode.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. So Frank's Manchester is the Instagram. We're based in Manchester. We do class every single week. If you want to come along to anything, you're welcome to get involved. The link was on the Instagram if you want to come and join. And yeah, that's it.
That's appreciate it. I think, you know, learned a lot, and I think you've been through a lot as well. And I think you're testament to coming through the other side to have this sort of mindset, because you're going to help the next person not to go through what you went through as well. And I think that's the best thing that can be, because there's too much going on in society where people aren't, you know, teaching the next gen, and they're just kind of passing on the same things that have happened previously. Well, Frank, I'm going to try to get down to your gym, maybe another hike as well. And yeah, man, check it out. If you're ever in Manchester, please do check out Frank at his gym. Also, boxing training as well. And yeah, that's been another episode of You Good Bro. Appreciate you coming down today.
Thank you for having me. I love what you're doing as well.
Appreciate that, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. See ya.
Peace.